Alright, hello, I'm Cadarev and I will be playing this game. Since there is a bit of downtime, both at the start and in general, I will just start already with the first level. Timing starts once we take control over Cassandra, which, as I said, will take a bit of time. So regarding this game, this is Gemini Heroes Reborn or Heroes Reborn Gemini. Wikipedia and Twitch are not in agreement on this, so I will just refer to it as Gemini, as does the massive speedrunning community behind this game. It's apparently based on some TV series from some country, I don't know. Since I'm a weeb, so I don't watch anything that is not non-anime. But we're playing as this girl. And that's her really cool friend. He is definitely not annoying at all. And the story starts in this like kind of abandoned former factory setting things. And yeah, so we're looking for clues to find our parents. Apparently he has found some clues since he's working for this company that owns this area. We'll see how that works out. And yeah, so 3, 2, 1, go. So that was the massive first input. Now we can already control the camera, but we cannot move, and that is great because that's something you want to get used to. And on one hand we have like 30 seconds of loading screens between each level. There will be 15 levels in total. And then we have these really cool pseudo cutscenes where you can still look around. Sometimes you can even move around, but you have to listen to the conversations to proceed. Now some of these we can like kind of take a shortcut by checkpoint resetting, but some of them, like this one, we just have to set out, and now we can start to move. You can see this is kind of not too fast. Now at the start we can only walk. We will soon, as soon as possible, get the ability to run. That should speed up a bit. Is the audio desynced? I don't hope so. And I don't think so, but we'll see. I mean, to be fair, it's not that important. I mean, what? But yeah, you saw Alex, who is our really cool friend here, and totally not annoying. He teleported a bit. That's definitely totally fine. Now, when we enter the next cutscene, there's a possibility that you may have seen he wears some really cool glasses. Sometimes they are actually like kind of distinct from his body, and they will float in midair. And sometimes he may even be able to just clip through all of the objects next to him. But sometimes he does neither of that, and he just stands there, which is a really boring option. And I have not found any way to make any of that consistent. So let's see what we get. Okay, now you can just see the glasses are not quite where they're supposed to be. Really good game. And here we'll do a checkpoint reset as soon as we see this symbol in the lower right. So here we would have another one of these conversations where they would explain to us that now we got the smart glasses, they show us our health, they show us quite a lot of things, and there would be nothing going on. And even though we get like 20 seconds of loading time here, that's still faster than sitting through all of that talk. Now there's still a bit of this tutorial going on here, but at least we cut straight to the second part. And you can see top left is our health, top right is nothing important. But you can see on the lower left we have this amazing chat history. So they explain to us that the smart glasses, they have kind of speech-to-text functionality. What they do not explain to us is that apparently the smart glasses can predict the future, since they immediately show the entire text, whatever the character says. And they also can associate whatever is said with a certain person, since they also show the profile picture. Here we need to sneak past some guards. The guards are not quite as good as you would expect them to, so we just are fully sprinting past them now. So yeah, there were some guards back there, never mind. And now we just have a last bit of normal walking before we can actually take over completely. You can take a bit of a shortcut here, so you're supposed to get a cutscene down there. You can already jump up to this container, so you can see Alex there is talking with someone who's supposed to be here but is not there. That makes sense. And as I said, totally not annoying, so let me not look at him. Previously I actually had audio issues with this game, where all the audio sources were directional, so if you would not look at people, you would not be able to hear them. Sadly, that got fixed, so I actually have to listen to Alex now. He will run ahead, but we will soon catch up. And at this part of the game, you actually want to figure out that if you go too fast here, this level will actually take longer. So what I mean by that is, if you will overtake Alex here, that's not a problem. But if you're too fast and get too far away from him, he will actually slow down. And for this first part, we need to wait for him to reach a certain location. Which is why I'm not sprinting right now, I'm just casually walking this part. Because we don't want to get too far ahead of him. Because why not go slow to go fast, I guess. I'm sure they were thinking of something when they were doing this. So yeah, here just some jumping. And this is where we soon will be cut off again by Alex. I mean, if we got the fast pathing, if I was already too fast, then we will not be cut off. But Alex, please cut me off. Okay, at least we got the checkpoint symbol, but I guess I was a bit too fast. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's like, yeah, might not be the case actually. This is still looking good. And here we have a longer jump. So longer jumps you can only make by sprinting first, then jumping, and then you have these cool climb up animations, which you generally want to avoid, but in this case it doesn't matter since we're waiting for Alex anyways. So some things you may have noticed with this game is it's amazing FOV. I'm sorry about that, but I can't change it. And you may also be able to make up a slight amount of bloom right here. I mean, this is definitely not too bright at all, don't worry about it. Also, I can't change that either. So, sorry about that as well. But yeah, here Alex is still talking to someone who's supposed to be on the other side. Don't worry about it. But as soon as he will get here... oops. And yeah, so now we go into the second level. Don't worry, not all of the levels are as action-packed as this one. But yeah, obviously the first few levels are a bit more tutorial-like. And as I said, get used to these loading screens. I will introduce some more to you since, as I said, for some parts we will actually checkpoint reset, which brings these loading screens with them, but as I said, normally it's still faster to checkpoint reset whenever I do it. So here again is one of these... I mean, in this case it's not even an interactive cutscene because even the camera is like fixed. I can't do anything here, so we're just watching this, I guess. So now we kind of got lost-ish in this area, and our really cool friend here, who's totally not annoying, will get captured by some evil guys. That's too bad, now we don't have to follow him anymore. And here we will also get our first superpower, which apparently Heroes Reborn is centered around. So as you can see, we can now shift timelines. So we have two timelines, we have present and past. They're separated by some amount of years, I forgot, but let's just say it's not too long, but it's like 10 years. Basically before and after this whole area crumbled. And we can peek into the other timeline, so right now I'm in the past, these guys are in the present, and yeah, this introduces us to this mechanic. I need to wait for them to go through this door, and I also need to be close enough to them where to actually continue. If you go already too far ahead, they will just stand in place, so we need to be like inside a certain radius of them for them to continue. Again, the rest of this is rather tutorial-like, so you just have your basic movement stuff like crouching and climbing up walls, sprinting, crouching again. But soon I will also have a stealth section, which is very cool. And they really make sure to teach you how to stealth, so here's the stealth section. I need to sneak past this guard. I successfully did that, so that's great. And here we wait out another dialogue. After this dialogue I will actually have free reign over shifting timelines myself. So far this was done by the game. But as soon as she's done talking I can do that myself now. And she will be rather ecstatic about that fact.
Wow! Yes! That is amazing!
And the rest just is running to the end of this level while getting shot at and ignoring all of that. That's fine, don't worry about it. And that's the second level then. Which brings us to the third level, which has some of... I mean, this is the first big sequence break we do here. So in the third level, we're supposed to get our other superpower, which is telekinesis. Which comes with a very long cutscene and some very basic puzzles to introduce you to the power, but we can skip all of that. Because while we can't slow down time yet, which will increase our jumping range, we can still get out of bounds here. So we get on top of this forklift, and then with a somewhat precise jump, we can land on some invisible collision and make our way further up. And get all the way over here. Grab this ledge, and yeah, this looks fine, don't worry about it. And the level end trigger is already over here, so that's level 3. Never mind about that noise, I'm perfectly fine. So level 4 is the one where we get our slowing down time power. As I already said, slowing down time outside of combat, where it's obviously useful since you can, you have a certain advantage over your enemies. Outside of combat, it increases your jump range, both vertically and horizontally. That's great, because you actually need it. But first it will be introduced to us via means of combat. So... okay, there we go. And here you can also see telekinesis we were kind of getting in the previous level, but we didn't see it, so it's fine. Here I have to shift timeline to get through these ventilators. Or spinning blades, or whatever they are. And then you can clip past this. Makes sense, because of course slowing down time has and increasing jump range has never led to any sequence breaks in any games. Here I need to wait out this dialogue that's going on, so that's why I'm also getting some slow animations, it doesn't matter. I need to wait for her to finish talking, and then I can do this. Here I shift timelines because there would be a tutorial on how to catch enemy bullets and throw them back at them, but I don't care about that, because... what is combat in this game? Here I have to use the slow down time jump, as I said earlier, to actually get across that gap. But I generally want to only activate it as shortly as possible, since it overall slows down movement, especially if you like descend after your jump. So while you're running around on the floor, it doesn't matter too much, but as soon as you jump, you want to kind of go out of slow down time as soon as you start descending. I mean, it's not like a big time save, but it's something, so I'm looking for anything at this point. Anyway, so yeah, level 5, we'll have a rather long pseudo-interactive cutscene again. Before that, we have a smaller part where we need to shift a few timelines. Here I wait out the dialogue of our really cool friend, who by the way is talking to us via smartphones, and he's still captured and able to provide us with some checkpoints we need to go to, which I'm sure makes sense. So here we go in here. There would be like a long dialogue here on how you need to find a way to access the data in the old timeline and what could you do. Oh wait, I can shift timelines, that sounds like a good idea. So as soon as we enter this cutscene, this room, I get a checkpoint, which I will reload, because this cuts out at least a part of the conversation. But the long one, sadly, we cannot skip. But thanks to Reborn, we found a way to make good use of the downtime there. I swear, it's like very exciting. So here I need to go into this part, wait out this dialogue, and then finally get to that longer conversation.
Alex?
There we go.
Alex, are you there? Oh, come on, dude.
Here I need to wait out until he's done with that part. So now we see the antagonist, so this is Trevor Mason. He has some evil plan about using us for some experiment, or already has, I don't know. I tend to not pay too much attention. So this canister we will need for the fight afterwards, but these two, this is very important, so these two, whatever they are, I don't know. We can use them to pass our time here, so while we're waiting for the conversation to be over, and if everything goes well, we can stack up quite a few things. At least we already got the basis. So this is actually more difficult than it looks, trust me. Yeah, because you have absolutely no depth perception with this. This is actually really bad. Let me see if I can change this.
Need me? For what?
Oh yes, there's one.
First, you'll need to master your new abilities.
Whatever this is, whatever you want.
Don't worry about the conversation in the
I
background.
want no part of it.
Sure makes sense somehow. Sure.
Up until now, my men have been ordered to capture.
Oh look, they were done already. Oh well. Well, hope you're fine with this written. Anyways, so there will be 3 guys coming out of this room here. Hopefully we can do enough damage for them to die. One survived, of course, as always. And I can aim very well. Can you? Thank you. Okay, so yeah, you need to kill all 3 of them for the next part to be accessible, which is the loading zone to the next level, level 6. Which brings with it, of course, a loading screen. But don't worry, you will see the same loading screen soon enough, because we will do a skip. So level 6 starts with a long elevator, which you're supposed to just ride down to the bottom while listening to the 2 cool teenagers talk cool stuff with each other. But since we can jump quite high now, we can actually bypass this. So we jump on this, and we jump over the invisible wall here and ride this slope down to the bottom, which totally works out. And then we checkpoint reset, which skips another conversation. And after that we can finally do the most important, I mean, it's not, is it a glitch? You decide. So if you have ever speedrun any games that are similar to this, you may know what's coming. So we have the ability to slow down time, and we have boxes, and that should ring a bell. So that definitely is not abusable in any way. So I need to launch myself through a rather small hole into the ceiling, so I hope I can get that. Yeah, there we go. So what I did is I was standing on top of the box. I was slowing down time, and I was jumping up, pulling the box towards me. That basically applies all the momentum from the box to myself, and because the time is slowed down, it apparently accelerates me quite a bit, which makes me fly through the air also quite a bit, and that was level 6. Level 7 is more movement centric. There aren't any like skips we can do as such, so that is something, I guess. What you don't want to do is get caught underneath or in these traps. Luckily we can slow down time. This trap looks lethal, but it's not. Even if you get hit there, it doesn't matter too much. And there are guards here, but don't worry about them as well. We can just run past them. They are very angry at us, I guess. Oh yeah, we're playing on easy difficulty because the game is too difficult otherwise. If you fall into the void here, it doesn't matter too much, you just respawn at, like... Actually, it's not really a checkpoint even, it's some kind of fixed position. So. Anyways, there is a small fight here at the end I need to do. As you can see, fire extinguishers explode, and they're very good weapons. Sadly, they're not always available. Is he dead or not? No, he's not. Yeah, now he's dead. And that makes this guy the last one remaining. And there we go. So in level 8, actually I'm always mixing up level 8 and level 9. I hope this is level 8. Is it level 8? I mean, I know this is level 8, but I'm asking myself if level 8 is the one I'm thinking about. I think it is. So in level 8 we will do something somewhat similar to level 6, where we just launch ourselves through a hole in the ceiling. Because apparently that's what they really liked, having your ceiling not shut down so people can go through it. However, this time we don't even need a box boost to do that. So, very good. Also, fight. The bigger the object you throw, the more damage you do. That's definitely how it works. Also, some of these barrels are explosive. That's also good. I always have to double check. Yeah, see, so this guy, even though he was right next to the explosion, didn't die. Makes also sense, I guess. Okay, and now we go through the ceiling, except this time we can just kind of jump at this part and we can go through the ceiling. Very good level design, I guess. So yeah, whenever you're out of bounds, you can see the camera go all Mirror's Edge-like. Because this is definitely not similar to Mirror's Edge in any way. And the loading trigger for the next level is on top of this vent, but in the other timeline. So I need to wait out the dialogue here before I can shift timelines, and as soon as I do, I instantly get the loading trigger. Level 9 is the prison. Here we will use another box boost to avoid having to get all the way to the top with some very sketchy jumps, because the best way to combat sketchy jumps is to use sketchy glitches to get to the top. As soon as we can, of course, because yeah, loading screens are fun.
Alex, if you can hear me.
Here I need to go through another dialogue, which is, as you may have been able to tell, a theme with this game. You get a certain degree of freedom to use its cool glitches and mechanics, and then you get stopped by conversations and loading screens. Very good. So yeah, we are going deeper and deeper into the enemy facility, I guess, and still haven't found our really cool and not annoying friend. Alright, so this is the first part of the prison, where we just ignore all the story elements. And this hole in the ceiling, actually, you're supposed to go through for once. That's cool. But then we grab a box here, and we go over here, and hopefully don't die from the fall damage. Yeah, of course. It's okay. We can try again. As you can tell, this is a bit more sketchy, since we also have to launch ourselves forwards, not what am I doing? Not purely vertically. There we go. So then we want to grab this desk and bring it with us into this corridor, because now we have to go through the ceiling again. Because why not have holes in your ceilings and miss them for a second time? But this one is actually smaller than the first one, so this one I expected to not hit. It's okay. Maybe. There we go. So this is fine, don't worry about the brightness. I'm combating it too. And here we are supposed to like make an elevator go down by cutting these wires. Hello? Okay. There we go. This all makes sense. It's okay. So level 10, actually no glitches from what I can tell. This is more of a running simulator, so we will have to access level 11 by planting a tree to access the vent that leads to level 11. And we do that by shifting timelines after planting the tree, which makes it grow immediately. That's pretty cool, but why do that when you can have conversations? I want to bring this barrel with me, because right after this next conversation I will have to... no, that's the wrong timeline. I will have to fight a few guys to unlock the next part. So this is a random guy we meet and have a conversation with and then never talk to again. But it's definitely worth it to slow down the game for that. And then, as I said, we have to kill 3 guys, preferably with this barrel. Sometimes this guy... okay, this time it didn't. Sometimes he's just invulnerable for a few seconds. That's very fun. Except when it isn't, which is always. And then we go to the next part. Here we need to hit a button in the other timeline, but there are guards there, so I want to switch as late as possible. Don't worry about this sound, it's definitely not annoying. Just like our friend is not annoying. So now we'll have to switch a few timelines to avoid these enemies. I mean, they're not like super lethal, but obviously they would slow me down if they would hit me. They can actually get stuck in this door, which would be pretty bad because I need to get through that door. But here I pick up the tree. This is how trees work. Don't worry. And we just bring it with us to the start of the level. Or I mean, not the entire start of the level, but yeah, before we enter this part. And we plan it here. We switch timelines and we go into the next part. So level 11, what the heck. Level 11 is pretty much the most broken one. Shoutouts to Drunken Shoe who found this thing. So what we can do is if you fall into the void and fade out, but at the same time shift timelines, the other timeline will not have any collision, which is great if it's a vertical level and you need to get down, because then you can just go into that timeline without any collision, fall all the way to the floor, or like to the bottom, and then switch timelines again. So you will see I will switch timelines now and we'll go rapidly downwards. Here you will not see a whole lot. Trust me, I don't see a lot either, but I want to get into a specific position from where I can... Okay. I'm not sure if I'm actually in the right position, but let's see. That looks good, yeah. So to explain what happened there is, usually actually we play with low graphics settings, but they make the game look even worse than it already is, because I didn't mention this, but this is actually on epic graphics settings. We would play on low graphics setting just for this level, because if you play on low graphics setting, you can actually see a lot more in that dark section. But I don't want to expose you to that kind of graphics, so I manned it up and used epic graphic settings and just do that part blindly. Also, don't worry about this, we just have to get rid of these two guys, and then there will be a long conversation with our cool and not annoying friend, who definitely will not turn on us. Yeah, so what we did there is, after we made one timeline non-collision, we used that timeline to get to the bottom of the other timeline. And then we had to get into a specific room to trigger the level end. So you want to switch back into the timeline with collision at the correct timing, because if you go too early, of course, you just land on top of the room, which is not too bad. You can still get inside. But if you switch back too late, you just missed your chance and you just fall into the void indefinitely. So that's bad. So you kind of have to time your switches there correctly. So now we found Alex again, but yeah, he's apparently this was all the big plan to lure us here, which is why they totally didn't try to kill me. This is the bad guy, and they have been working against us all this time. What a shock! Yeah, so apparently our friend is also one of these Evos, who are the people with superpowers like us. And he will be our next boss fight, or, well, our first and second of our first of two boss fights. And you can tell both of the teenagers are really angry at each other, especially Alex, you will see. Like, he is so angry that you will see a very amazing walking animation once this conversation is done, which sadly it is not for quite a while. But the boss fight is split into two phases. So the first one will be on the structure you can see behind him. Or he will be on that structure, we will be on this side. We can't jump over there. But he will throw some rocks and debris at us. What you need to do is you need to destroy 3 of the pillars the structure is standing on. If you time it correctly, you can actually 2-cycle this. So you can use 2... So technically after each pillar you destroy, Alex is kind of stunned because the structure is crumbling and you can't do anything during that time. But if you time it correctly, you can actually throw the second debris already before that animation starts. It's not a huge time save, like it's not really required for anything, but it definitely saves like a few seconds. Which I would know because I didn't get it in my PB. Yeah, now they're really angry, which you can tell because they're using all caps for words. That's really how you get emotions across. And now you can see how angry Alex is. Like, look at this amazing walking animation. This is how I always walk when I'm angry. And don't worry, you will see it again here. Okay, perfect. Look at how angry he is. Yes, yes, yes. So angry. Literally better run in marathon than PB. I mean, what? So yeah, second phase, he flies around, because of course he can. But now we also have PK projectiles, because we can. And he's invulnerable right now, but I want to start shooting at him as soon as he exits that, because as soon as he is vulnerable, he will push us away. Can you please get vulnerable? Yes, thank you. He will push us away and out of range, but if you time it correctly, you can still hit him before he pushes you too far away. Which is where time slowdown comes in really handy. Here we go. And you do that, of course, a few times, because that's how it works. And last time, I think... Come on, Alex. Thank you, Alex. What a great friend. So that was the boss battle. Now we have obtained all of our powers. And there are only 3 levels left, but they are somewhat complex. Especially the next one. So next one we will go out of bounds again, but it's actually pretty risky. So in this game only uses checkpoints, right? You don't have save files, which is also why we can't start a run after the first cutscene. You can't create a save file. The problem with that is, since we will skip all of the checkpoints, if you mess up or get bad RNG on any of your launches, you have to reset the checkpoint and you just go all the way back to the start of the level, which is also why my estimate is a bit higher than my PB. This is to account for such problems where I usually would reset, of course. But in this next level there are actually 2 to 3-ish spots where I could potentially run into troubles and had to reset the checkpoint. So just that you're aware of that, might happen. But the general idea is again to use a box launch or box boost to launch the cells out of bounds. Because again, why fix your ceiling when you cannot? Which is very nice of them. And for this we will use smaller boxes now because they're readily available. You can actually use a bigger box, which makes it a bit more consistent. But they're right next to guards, and I had bad experiences with those guards, so we'll just use these small boxes here. There we go. Also, by now we should have been introduced to a few different types of guards and enemies, but we didn't because we skipped most of this game. So we launch ourselves up here. Yes, good. Slow down time to make this jump. And then past this, yeah, you can see this is a bit... actually, you can't see it too well here, but you will soon see that this is not where we're supposed to be, I guess. Yeah, there in the background is kind of a hint, or this checkerboard pattern is also kind of a hint. I don't know. So here we need to walk off the edge in a somewhat specific spot. Good. If you are off the spot here, you just fall into the void. And here we go back somewhat inbounds. Here we need to trigger a loading trigger for the next part, which is why I'm scrambling against this part of the wall. And then we just need to kill this guy. Luckily there is a explosive canister here we can use. Also, this makes sense. Yes, I definitely hit that keyboard. Insane range. TK and stuff. So yeah, that's level 13. That went rather well. Now we have 2 more levels. Last level is basically only first a gauntlet fight and our battle, and then the final boss battle. So level 14 is where we do our last box boost. This time actually using a big box. And this will also be where we... obviously, since we've been following the story, we will finally be reunited with our sister. Who's our older sister, but she's younger because time paradox and time travel and story, I guess. So elevator rides, always funny because you can't do anything during them. I mean, I can do stuff during them, but nothing that would help my cause. But as soon as I'm out of this elevator, I will pick up a box in the other timeline. You can actually do this boost with a rock, but it's not as consistent. Not as consistent because obviously the rock geometry is not as regular as this box. Not to say that it's consistent with this thing, but let's see so I don't mess this up. I mean, I can still mess it up. Yeah, this is looking good. Okay, so now we're out of bounds over here. Don't worry about the health, it's okay. And now we need to get back in bounds. Do that by shifting timelines a few times over here. There we go. So now we need something to weigh down button. We use this tray for. And that opens this big door, which leads us to another elevator. Which, as I said, is really cool. Also, you can't exit here, even though may look like it, which is a good thing because he would probably softlock the way I know this game, which is not a lot, but I know the basics, and that softlocks are a cool thing. And now, just past this guard and into this vent, we will see our sister, Dahlia. So both of them are Evos slash superheroes slash people with superpowers, whatever. Also, hope you enjoy your cutscenes. And as I said, don't worry about the... You probably don't worry about it, but I always do definitely, is the battery symbol in the top right corner, which is only at 18%. This would drive me mad because I'm already anxious when my mobile phone power drops beneath 90%. Yeah, it just goes, it's a fixed thing. It will always be the same for every level. We just wait out this dialogue. Nice throat. Excuse me. We just wait out this dialogue to help Dahlia get to the end of the room. You can see her, like at the end of the room you can see in the back there is a big button. So first we need to turn down the lasers she's standing in front of, and then the pillar you can see there. There's actually a platform on top of that, so we need to load that as well. But first, some more angsty teen conversations. And then I can already talk about the final level, because there will probably not... I mean, kind of, there will be time to explain there as well, because you guessed it, interactive cutscenes. But so, as I already said, the basic gist of the 15th and final level is that first we have a gauntlet fight against a total of, I think, like, I don't even know, I never counted. I would estimate like 12 enemies or something. If you're bored, which after these cutscenes you may be, you can actually count. So yeah, there would have been different kind of enemies in all of the game. As I said, we skipped most of them, but there are the standard guards, there are armored guards that you can't face head on unless you slow down time before they can react to you. There are really quick and nimble guys you actually have to use slow down time to get past, because otherwise they just evade everything. And there are some guys that are unaffected by slowing down time. Why did I slow down time? Nice. I was a bit confused there. But so yeah, and there are these guys obviously which are one shot. So here we interact with this thing to lower the platform. Then we just wait for Dahlia. So that's the that will be the gauntlet fight against the enemies first. There will always be like groups of enemies spawning, and I need to clear out all of them before the next one can spawn. And after that we have our final boss battle with Trevor Mason, which will be exciting because we will actually not be fighting him, because we can just go out of bounds and to the level end trigger. But it will be actually another one of these a bit finicky segments, because we only get one checkpoint at the start of the Trevor Mason fight. And at the start of the Trevor Mason fight you get a long cutscene, so if I fall into the void or anything I will have to watch that cutscene again, so I really hope I don't. But there are quite a few unfortunate geometries out of bounds that may cause that. But we'll see. But yeah, basically there is no final boss battle in this speedrun. The only thing that can screw you over at the end is yourself and the game. Yes, I'm sorry, Rhythm. I know this game is very close to your heart. So yeah, this is the final level. Apparently Bonum Nox is not even correct Latin, but I wouldn't know, I never had Latin. It's supposed to mean good night, but whatever, I don't know, as I said. I only study non-important stuff. Actually, at the start of this, I don't want to run out immediately. If you exit this room too early, the enemies don't load in, which is very good. But as you can see, they're here now. So this is an armor guard. I'll slow down time here, otherwise he would block all of my projectiles. This guy's just one hit, so don't worry about him. And this guy actually takes more hit than the armored guy, but he does not stand in place, or like he has actually pretty big knockback, which is why we need to follow him. And then we wait here for the next guy. Die. And there should be this guy. So he's not affected. Like for him, you need to use slowdown time. This guy's not affected by it, so who cares? And now we have 2 more of these guys. Hello. Bye. So yeah, this was the gauntlet, and this is the final boss fight. So, oh no, he fooled us as well. So he lured us down here with the promise of telling us more about our parents. Turns out he has nothing on them. Oh no. He seemed so trustworthy. So more blah blah blah. And then I will first TK him. I will have to drag him into the past timeline where this facility was still intact. Because need to cause time paradox stuff, I don't know. And as soon as that happened, I will, I will do a setup to go out of bounds, which involves switching between timelines. And then quite a few fun skips. Oh yeah, he's also an Evo, who would have thought, because he injected himself with this stuff. I know, right, Rhythm? Insane, epic graphic settings. So he's not, you can't target him immediately, but now we can. There we go. Alright. So I want to get on top of this door here because there's a ledge. Then I want to switch back, go onto this ledge, and as soon as I switch over, this makes sense. Here I may hit my head, which would be really bad, but I didn't. That's good. So these jumps are quite sketchy. And if you fail them, you usually have to restart, or restart checkpoint, which you don't want to, because as amazing as the cutscenes are in this game, I don't really want to watch them multiple times. That's not good though. Where am I? Oh, never mind. I know where I am. Okay, run out of time. I mean, time. 12%. Oh no, I need to hurry up or else my smart glasses will not work anymore. Monkeyes. Yes, now we're at the top of the facility and we want to land on this rim here. Perfect. Even if you drop down here, you can still make it back on top, but it's a bit finicky. But yeah, now we're making our way to the level entry. Okay, sure, that made sense. So you can get ready on time. It's like 30 more seconds, I would say. And here we have to switch in midair, because there is collision there, don't worry. And here we switch 2 more times to get back down safely. Explosion and also very good fire effects. Trust me, this is how lava looks like. And then as soon as the next loading, holy moly, this collision. So yeah, it's time. That scared me. But I've also already been hit from my back, like in my back, with collision flying around from the debris, which knocked me into the lava, which is very cool. Good level end. As I said, I would go back all the way to the start. But yeah, that's Gemini, Heroes Reborn. Very good speed game, except when you can't do anything, which is like 50% of the time. Also, @RhythmSR really likes this game because of the protagonist's name. And apparently the protagonist looks like a Sims character, which people pointed out, so thank you.
I'm totally sorry about this, but I completely missed time because I was setting up the
Oh,
next
no
runner,
worries.
so sorry
No
about
worries.
that. Did anyone catch the timer? I will quickly check the volume.
It doesn't matter, it's fun.
I will just very quickly, I apologize for that. That
No
was
worries, man.
completely on my side. We
Sorry
gotta
for
have
going
an
too
average-
fast. I mean, what?
Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, I still got like 3 minutes or something. You know, I suddenly start hearing like, yeah, this was Gemini, here is like, oh no.
But yeah, thank you
Like
very
that
much.
oh
man.
no moment where you just realize, oh no.
Yeah, that's as I said, no worries. It's not like this was on PV pace. But yeah, thank you very much, man. And thank you for Valuethon for having me.
Oh, thank you for running. I'm just trying to
Yes.
get your time because
Just for correctness'
some
sake, I
reason-
guess. We have
Which
some
chat?
conflicting messages in chat. But yeah, as I said, doesn't really matter too
Yeah.
much. But yeah, that was Gemini, Heroes Reborn. Sorry, I keep on cutting you off, sorry.
It's fine, it's fine, it's fine.
But yeah, next is Jump King, I think. So hope you can enjoy
yes.
that. Yes, and thank you for having me. Enjoy the rest of the marathon, and take care, everyone.
And I can confirm it was a 41-42.
All right.
So, just for everyone on here. Right. Thanks for running.
Thank you.